Animal Adventures. My name is Kylynn, and we have a wonderful nest of little guests to meet you today in our next animal adventure. And I feel really bad because they're sleeping and they're cozy, but I want to go ahead and bring them out and show you because they are some of my very favorite pets, and they are pet rats, and there are 4 of them here to see you today. Baby ratties! Oh, and rats are usually nocturnal or prefer to come out around dawn and dusk. So unfortunately, it's not a great time to be waking them up because it's during the day. But this is an important video to show, so they're going to be my very special guests today. Let's dive in and learn all about everything we need to know in regards to owning a pet rat. So pet rats are one of my very favorite pets, and that's because they're adorable and friendly and really smart. And these 4 rats are owned by a staff member here, so I've been able to hang out with them a time or 2 before. And they're really friendly. There's 2 boys and there's 2 girls, and the reason that they can all be around one another is because both boys have been neutered. So a lot of people tell me that they think that rats are dirty, and it's really not true. Rats actually clean themselves more times per day than cats do, so they're incredibly clean. And a lot of other people tell me that they don't like rats because they don't like their tail. They're freaked out by their tail. It's long and it doesn't have any fur on it. And I like to tell them that all these rats are on me and they're licking me. They're so cute. The reason that rats don't have hair or fur on their tail is because of 2 things. First, that it's a way for them to grip on things. So you can see when they climb all over the place and they go on their rope ladder and explore, they use their tail as both a form of balance and to kind of hold on to things, kind of like a little bit of an extra limb. And the reason it doesn't have fur on it also is because it's a way for them to regulate their body heat. So if they get too warm, the hairless tail helps to cool them down. So it's actually a really important part of their anatomy. Oh, I can hear them. They're bruxing. In my ear, they're doing what we call bruxing, and that's when they chitter their teeth together really quickly, and that means that they're happy or content or warm and they feel safe and cuddled. So I'm really happy that they are doing that while they're on me because it means that they are happy to be with me. A good way to get to know your friend rat is by offering them treats with your hand on a regular basis, and when they get comfortable with you, then you can start picking them up one by one. Make sure you hold them carefully when you pick them up, support them and their feet and their bottom from the underside, and give them a lot of support by cradling them against your body. Once they're hand tamed, then you can let them out of their cage for playtime every day, like running around on your bed or in another safe area. But make sure there aren't spaces where they can squeeze into and get lost, and always watch them because they will chew on anything in their path, like electrical cords. When thinking about what foods to feed your rat, we recommend Oxbow Rat Block, which are these solid little blocks, and they actually have all of the appropriate nutrients compacted into them. So what you want to avoid is a mixed diet of seeds and peanuts and any kind of thing where your rat can potentially pick out only the bits that they like and ignore all the healthy parts that they need to be eating. Like Stone is doing here, just stealing what he wants to be eating. Rats also love people food, and if you give them people food, you might get a fat rat on your hands really quickly. So make sure you offer these only as treats in small amounts. Little bits of fruit and veggies is great, and if you're going to give them a tiny piece of cooked pasta or a tiny piece of pizza crust, just make sure it's few and far between so they don't get too used to people food or potentially overweight. Before adopting a pet rat, you should really consider getting 2 of them. They do super well with a buddy, and they really need another rat friend. But you need to make sure you either get females or males because of course you don't want any accidental litters. Rats can have a litter of 12 to 20 babies. So you really need to make sure your males are neutered and your females are spayed if you're going to be housing them together. So since you're going to have 2 or more rats, you need to make sure to get them a really big enclosure for them to explore. And the enclosure needs to be taller than it is long. They really like a lot of height so they can climb all around. And then the more things that you provide for them is the better. So you'll want to put a hammock in there for them to sleep in, lots of small hiding places for them, a rope ladder to climb across, a variety of different things to chew on, and lots of soft spaces for them to sleep. Swings are also a great option, and of course a lot of tubes for them to run through. But make sure when you do a deep clean of the enclosure every week, you also wash the toys, because you don't want bacteria to grow on the toys or inside of them and potentially make your rats sick or have the enclosure be stinky. I mentioned that you should consider getting your rats spayed and neutered. And in addition to that, just like all other animals, you need to be acquainted with a veterinarian who will be seeing your animal at least once every year. And that's really important because rats actually have a pretty short lifespan. They only live on average 2 to 3 years, and they're prone to getting cancers. So it's important to make sure that that you take them to the vet regularly and keep a close eye out for any lumps or bumps you might see underneath their skin. And also any behavior that isn't normal to them, like if they stop eating as much food, or they start having a snuffy, gurgly nose, like they have a stuffy nose, they might have a cold. And in order to avoid getting a cold, make sure you don't house them next to a drafty area or in a really cold location. And make sure that their cage has plenty of ventilation. That's why glass enclosures are not a great option for rats. And then the other thing to notice about rats and in regards to their health is a lot of people comment that their rat has a little bit of red crusty around their eyes, and they think that their eyes are bleeding. And in fact, that rats just have a natural lubricant in the back of their eye, and the lubricant has a rusty red color to it. So when it dries, it does look a little bit like dried blood, but that's just a natural part of their anatomy. And that lubricant from their eye, kind of like their tears, actually drains naturally down through their nostrils. So if you see a little red crusty around the nose or around the eye, as long as it's not too much, don't freak out about that, because that is part of natural rat anatomy. The other thing to know about rats is they have absolutely fascinating behavior and personality traits that you'll definitely learn all about as soon as you've adopted your pets and gotten to know each other really, really well. They have lots of vocalizations, and some of them are bad and some of them are good. We talked about bruxing, when they grind their teeth together when they're really happy. They can also make what scientists call a little rat giggle when they're being tickled, and that is actually a sound that is too high-pitched for human ears to hear, but they can record it with certain microphones, so that's a really cute thing to Google. And if they get scared or hurt, or if they're fighting with another rat, they also might make loud squeaks and loud noises as well. So lots of things to learn about your pet rat. You can see that they're really loving and really wonderful and playful, fun pets. They love to crawl around on you, spend time with you, and they kind of like snuggling up to you because you're nice and warm. I've absolutely loved introducing these guys to you in this video and hanging out with them and just holding them, and I hope that you might consider a rat the next time you're thinking about adopting a pet. They're a really good fit for most homes, and a really pleasurable pet to own. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll see you all next time with a new animal adventure.